Hi, welcome to the course. Over the next few videos, I'm going to be teaching you how to make your very first game in Unity 3D. It's going to be a choose your own adventure style game. First, we're going to start by building a true or false game, which is eventually going to evolve into our choose your own adventure game. I'm going to give you the basics by teaching you how to create a mockup and some basic code so you can create a state machine and get the buttons to work and the text to change. With this, you'll be able to expand it and build your choose your own adventure game. Don't know how to write? Aren't the best writer or storyteller? I got you. I'm going to teach you storytelling techniques such as character development, arcs, and an overall plot and concept so you can make your own choose your own adventure games, and also add images to your games to make them a bit more immersive so you can share them with friends and really have a product all on your own. Alright, so the very first thing you're going to want to do, if you haven't already, is go to unity3d.com and get Unity. It's the most vital part. We're making a game in Unity. You're going to want to go ahead and grab Unity. They have a few options to select from, but we're just going to focus on the personal. I don't really need this yet until we get better. So once you have Unity, go ahead and open it up. And if you already made a few projects, of course they'll be right here. We're going to focus on new and a 2D project. I'm going to call it CY. Alright, choose your own adventure. And we'll just put game right there. And create project. Alright, once Unity's open, you're going to see a few tabs all over the place. Mine's might look a little bit different than yours, but it doesn't matter. You should just be able to find the tabs when I call them out. Console's usually over here, mine's is down here, but the thing is, you can actually move these around and really customize Unity to your liking. The most important tabs, of course, are your scene and your game itself, where you can actually preview it while it's being made. So, the first thing we're going to do is start working on our game. But before we even get to all the programming and artwork and storytelling, we want to focus on actually having a place to put all of our graphics and text and buttons. So you're going to right click over here in your hierarchy, wherever it may be. Right click. You're going to go down to UI. Then a little bit lower to find canvas. So we used to have this rectangle, but now we have this much larger rectangle to work with. So you're going to go and use your mouse wheel and just zoom out. And you can also use your middle mouse button to actually move the screen around a bit, just to adjust it. So what we're going to focus on now that we have our canvas, which is where our game is going to be seen, we're going to go back to our canvas and right click it. Then go to UI, and then add text. And there it is. This is where our story shall be told. Okay, so we can go ahead and center that a little bit and make it a little bit bigger. Don't worry about it being all perfect. That is the bane of game development. Worrying on perfection, or anything really that you're starting, worrying about perfection will just completely take the enjoyment out of it. You'll take way more time on it than you honestly need to, when all you really need to focus on is just getting it done. So once you just have a nice shape that you think the text will fit in nicely and, you know, won't stretch over the screens and whatnot, pretty much good. After that, we're going to go back to canvas, right click again. Going to go back to UI, and we're going to add a button. Put that about right there. Give it a little bit more size. There we go. Now I'm going to teach you first hotkey. Go to button in your hierarchy. Control D, and it will duplicate the button. So now, let me actually talk about these right here. This will move your screen around. This will move objects on different axes. So this is what we're going to use to move our button just a little bit away from the other one. This will rotate objects on their axis. This one is to scale. And this one is to resize. And you can access all of these with QWERTY. All right, now that we've got that, let's go ahead and work on our text a little bit. So the text that you see here, is it going to matter? I'm just going to increase the font size right over here in your inspector. Once you click on an object, all of its like properties and stuff will be in the inspector. So you can see we have font size. So we can go ahead and increase the font size just a little bit. So now you can really see it. And I'm going to go down to alignment, have it a bit more in the center, just like that. And we're actually not going to see this text later on, and I'm going to show you why. All of our text will be controlled by our code. So I'm going to call this sample text. I'm going to make it white so we can see it better. And its blue backgrounds are pretty dull and plain. It kind of remind me of office buildings. So we're actually going to go to main camera and go over to the inspector, background, and just make it black. Should contrast really well. See, that looks way better. So we're going to call that sample text, and now we're going to work on our buttons. See, our buttons also have text on them, just kind of like how we put this text box up. And if we hit this arrow, you'll see there's a text that is currently on the button. Now, these buttons won't be affected by our code yet. So we're going to create a true or false game just to start, and then I'm going to show you how you can turn that into your choose your own adventure game. But this is just to give you a starting point. And also, you're going to take a W because you're going to be making your very first game in this first video. So we know this is going to be the true button. Let's increase the font size a little bit, or in this case a lot of bit. And so it's about 58. Let's do the same thing for the other button. Go over here, click it, text, and false. And let's make that 58 as well. Yep, that's good. Another thing we want to do is let's actually add a little bit of color to our buttons. So right down here, normal color. Let's make the true button green. And then if you highlight over it, maybe we'll make it a bit of a darker green. Yeah, that's good. And then once it's been clicked on, it will resort back to its original green. Okay, let's go over here to our other button. Let's make it red. And then if it's highlighted, darker red. And then if it's pressed, it will go back to its original red. All right, that should be nice. Let's go ahead and run our game real quick and actually look at how that works. Cool thing about Unity is you can just drag these buttons right in and they'll work. And I'll show you how the code will actually pick up these buttons later. So see, when they're highlighted, they change color, indicate they've been highlighted. All right. Next, let's go ahead and start renaming stuff. So text will be fine for now, but these buttons, we can rename this button true button and false button. If you don't know how to do that, what you're gonna do is right click and rename, or you could just select the button and hit F2. And that's how you rename anything in Unity. If you right click and it doesn't give you a rename option, just press F2 on your keyboard. All right, so you've just created your first mockup, which is really simple. And basically what this does, instead of us playing a lot of guesswork in the development of our game, we just know what we have to do now. We have text that needs to be programmed to change into a statement for our true or false game. We have a true button that needs to be able to know when it's selected, and that's the correct answer if the statement is true, and false if the statement is false. And that is it. So now we're going to get into the scripting.